Welcome to Queen Street, Kingston, Ontario. North of Princess Street and the Sydenham Heritage District, Queen Street is an often overlooked gem in the heart of downtown Kingston, Ontario. From the intersection of Queen and Ontario Streets, which was once underwater, we can almost see the remnants of Fort Frontenac. The fort was established in 1673 as the first permanent European settlement in the area. During the mid-1800s, Kingston was a capital of the United Provinces of Upper and Lower Canada, and a great building boom in the city core was underway. A number of residential buildings on Queen Street were built during this time, many specifically for rental accommodations. At one point, there were 5 churches fronting or backing on the street. Today, there are more than 40 Queen Street addresses that are recognized by the city under the Ontario Heritage Act. 19 Queen. Newlands designed this limestone building in 1904 in the commercial Georgian style. Note on the gable end of 21 Queen, one can see the faded motif, gas the modern fuel, and the remaining gaslight sconces facing Queen. 27 to 29 Queen. This handsome brick building has 5 bays facing King Street and 6 facing Queen Street. It is owned by Utilities Kingston and is the center for fiber optics for the city core. Along the north side of Queen, between Wellington and Bagot Streets, there is a series of 8 designated buildings, numbers 79, 81, 85, 87, 89, and 95 Queen Street, with one listed building at 97 Queen. (102 to 104 Queen Street shows a fine example of several carriageways on the street. These provided access to the interior of the lot and could easily be locked against intruders. Carriageways also extended the facade of the building, whether in stone or brick construction, and provided for upper story living space. The Gore Street Municipal Parking Lot at 169 Queen Street provides a view of the Kingston Armories. 179 Queen. The home of David Brass has been restored to become an important part of the streetscape and is a prime example of blending the old with the new. It was redeveloped in the 1970s to allow for 80 seniors units. 235 to 237 Queen. Sir John A. Macdonald lived here with his parents and his sisters for a brief time in 1839. 137 Queen. A portion of Queen Street was originally called Grave Street. The Anglican Church Burial Ground is one of the oldest consecrated cemeteries in Ontario and is the oldest in Kingston, being the resting place of most of Kingston's original settlers, 1783 to 1863. Amazingly, St. Paul's Church, 1845, was built over the burial ground, as was Church Hall in 1872. More information can be found on their website, loreburialground.ca. 209 Queen is the Isaac Cohen House. Cohen arrived in 1891 from Russia, starting as a teacher, then launching a business called the Kingston Rag and Metal Company. Cohen was very active in the Jewish community, advocating for the construction of the Beth Israel Synagogue at 148 Queen about 1910. It was demolished in the early 1960s. 211 Queen. Captain James Mackenzie, a retired officer of the Royal Navy, bought this lot in January 1821 and built this house the next year. The front of the house was done in Flemish bond brickwork and common bond on the rest. Part of this building was rented out when it was first constructed, as were many others on the street. 216 Queen. Known as the Benjamin Bailey House, this simple frame structure was the home of Benjamin Bailey, who built this house in 1875. He and his brothers manufactured brooms here from 1865 to 1903, after which the business moved to Rideau Street. Both properties were listed on the Municipal Register in 2016. 221 Queen Street was the location of a church built in 1858 after the board of Sydenham Street Wesleyan Church searched to find a suitable site for a new building. In 1863, the mayor donated the property. Architect John Power designed the building, and in 1864 the new church opened. This photo is of the 1920 church that replaced the original building that was destroyed by fire. the pyramidal roof tower at the corner, large Gothic window to the south, and series of Gothic arches to the west are all important features of this limestone church. Today, it has a new life as an adaptive reuse of communal offices called the Sanctuary, although the approval is still in place to convert it to residential condos. You can find out more at sanctuarycoworking.ca. St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church fronts onto Princess Street and backs onto Queen Street, providing another architectural delight. This small church at 285 Queen Street was built about 1837 for the Catholic Apostolic Church, later known as the Scottish Rite Hall. It is distinguished by its fine Gothic arched opening, windows, door, and blind arches. Slight projections divide the facade into 3 bays. In 2007, a 1,000 square foot addition to the rear allowed for a new banquet hall, which is widely used for special events throughout the year. 286 and 288 Queen. Built in 1843 for James Black, this large, handsome double house would have been a prime rental property at a time when Queen Street was a fashionable area for large houses. The regularly spaced flat-arched openings on the facade vary in treatment in each of the 3 stories. On the first story, the entranceways have transoms and sidelights. 321 Queen Street. John Power designed this 1854 building, which was leased to the Kingston Common School Board until 1884. Significant architectural features are the groups of windows, pairs in the wings, and groups of 3 on the sides. And at the end of our tour, there remain a few gems to be discovered, as Queen Street also boasts several beautiful but unprotected buildings as shown in these photos. Intricate minglings of different uses in cities are not a form of chaos. On the contrary, they represent a complex and highly developed form of order. Jane Jacobs, Urban Activist, 1916 to 2006. Thank you for visiting Queen Street. For more information about Kingston's built heritage, visit the Frontenac Heritage Foundation's website at frontenacheritage.ca.